For people not following the game, following the results pages, there's 2 other players unbeaten who are playing each other in this round. So it's likely that the winner of that will be playing the winner of this in round 7, perhaps tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow, after these 2 games, because there's 4 games going on now between the lunch break and the end of the day.
Sorry, I was off a minute there. I had Twitch going as well as my streams. Was hearing everything in double.
Okay. Yeah, I've done that before. Don't worry.
Hopefully, yeah.
You wonder which one is the one to turn off, and you sort of got to get that right.
So we've got Geoff here with looks like he set up Groom on his first rack. I don't see a bingo right away, but because it's Groom miss if one of the O's was a second U and sour gum anagram pair. Sort of drawn similar-ish racks that are a little clunky. Can try to groom for a bingo. Just gonna do just that. Start off with a medium score, retain his S. Evans is probably going to groom his rack as well. Maybe a play like BAP over on top of groom, making bow and am, or underneath groom.
Yeah.
There's that could certainly be a better alternative.
He wouldn't have been worried about the ing or any other extensions placing groom there, would he? It's not a consideration, really, is it? I suppose.
I guess it's something to keep out for, yeah, in the rest of the game, but not enough. Yeah, definitely not enough to stop.
No, you wouldn't
from playing groom.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah. You wouldn't stop a play just because of it, would you? I don't think so. There's only there's ERS and ING are the only 2 extensions anyway, so there's not like loads of different ones.
Yes. Up ends there. He's got BUNN that he might be able to possibly get down, or BUNNS after Evans plays.
Yeah.
Evans is our defending U.S. North American champion in the Collins Dictionary, former runner-up in the national championship in the TWL division. Exciting matchup. Suggestion of Bregma from the chat. Yeah, definitely scores pretty well. Pretty reasonable play there, and it doesn't keep quite as well as something like Bag or BAP, but
did you see the comment in the chat, Sam, about who's commentating after us? Did you address that, or?
Oh no, so I just opened the chat.
Oh, okay. But, yeah, it's two high-ranked players, To Weibin and Conrad Bassett Bouchard. They're doing back-to-back games like me and Sam are. There's no fixtures for round 7 and 8 yet, obviously, so we won't know who's on stream for their commentary games, but as soon as we know, we'll let you know.
In general, I know that at least today and maybe tomorrow, there's 2 games paired. I'm not sure if that holds true for 7 and 8, if it's just sort of a round at a time. But probably after this game, sometime during round 6, round 7 should be paired.
I think that's how it'll be done, yeah.
Bergama, word I was not familiar with, which Zizova defines as a type of rug. So somewhat similar play to Bregma.
Takes an S, does it? It's not a plural. Yeah, it takes an S.
I'm a megabar.
Oh, yeah. So is that Evans' style, would you say, turnover over rack leave, or is that just on this particular move he's done that? Keeping as much of a good rack as he can?
Question. I think he's a very open board, very aggressive player. So from what I've seen, it can manifest itself in long plays. It can manifest itself in fishier type plays, depending on the situation. So I'm not sure, but definitely not surprised to see him with a wide open play, opening, a hot spot on a double letter there with the next to the A.
Yeah.
Buns. Yes, definitely going to be hit with some consonants there.
Yeah.
Buns looks like a pretty strong play there. He's going to ask to hit the double word and keep him pretty well.
It's blocked any groom extensions as well, so that's not to be worried about now. Keeping the NR, an I pick gives him an ING bonus, possibly down onto the middle triple at the top. Which he has done.
Mm-hmm.
He kept the N, so if he picks an A, he's got an ING bonus potentially. He's got rattling, yeah.
Oh yeah, yes, that's going to come down.
Nice pick.
I
think Jodell was either played in one of the previous games or considered as a potential move, wasn't it? I think. I don't know if you were watching one of the earlier games with that move in it.
Believe that's a cons only word. So if it was considered,
maybe it was mentioned in chat and dismissed as. I think it was. I could see Lewis Mackay in chat, and he might have suggested it before. Actually, he's a UK player.
Yes. Reminder suggesting picks and
yeah, it's got to be that, really, isn't it?
Looks very strong.
Yeah,
good way to picking up the blank, so he has that sizable lead, and he may be able to bingo this turn, though I haven't spotted one, but if not this turn, certainly next turn.
Yeah, there goes picks.
It's catching up momentarily, but Geoff's probably going to take a good think to look for. I mean, he does have options like maybe Oi with making J, which scores pretty well.
Yeah.
And obviously keeping last flank. So yeah, looking pretty strong.
Will they both know if rattling takes an S or not, do you think?
It
does. So
that was my first question. Yeah, I don't know.
I've just checked that it does. So it's like, do they know their 8s to 9s ING hooks?
I mean, they both study the 9s, I believe. I don't know as much about Geoff's knowledge. I know Evan studies the 9s pretty well, and I would bet that he likely knows that. Maybe not, but
it's unlikely to get that lane's unlikely to get blocked, I would say, looking at the board around it. So
yeah, it could definitely be, especially if that Yodel's hook gets taken off. If there's a play at column 10, then that could definitely come up, and someone's going to have to decide, do they want to risk it?
Yeah. The suggestions coming through the chat of everyday words like glossary, less common word, oxysalts from Lewis. Nice word.
Oxysalts. Yes, that is really nice. Beautiful, using the blank as an X.
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth it to to play the bingo. I'm not sure if I'd spring for it with.
You're getting 29. Yeah, OY and JAY scores 29, and you're scoring 40 points more using two S's and a blank. So it's like interesting.
The alternatives don't quite. I didn't realize Oi only scored 29, and perhaps there's not a good Yo and Yex, Ya with the E and Yodel, but perhaps there's no nice 35 that would be worthwhile. And Geoff's settling in for a good think here.
Yeah, there's been quite a lot of high turnover moves, so we're quite a way into the game. So I wouldn't say they need to worry about taking a long time on a move at this stage.
Yeah, for sure. Only concern is when you're playing Evans, he's not likely to let up on the time.
Okay.
But yes, definitely.
There's 30 tiles down already in just over 10 minutes, so. Do we think Geoff's seen anything yet? The way he's looking, with his rack in alpha order, is he like to have seen anything? Or
well, there he's going down with asystole.
Okay.
Nice find. There's that. I guess not. It probably doesn't score as much as Oxy Salts. I'd imagine you didn't see that, but nice play. Yeah, he's surprised if he keeps an alpha order the whole game. I'm basing that off of he views the board upside down. He doesn't turn the board, so makes it easier on our on the camera work. But
I noticed on the first move he placed it on the board, and the camera was expecting a right way up move, as it were, and had to quickly flip. So
yeah, so type of player who does that might also be the type of player who might not necessarily move the rack around, but solid play. And Evans is behind in this one. Certainly chances to catch up this early in the game, especially in the larger dictionary than TWL. Not sure where Evans is going to go with this rack. Presumably something, but I don't know if there's any terrific plays. I see something like chain, but you don't really want to block that whole part of the board with your C. I'm not sure how he's going to rack. Not really many terrific places to score. Someone with an A, neither of them have an A, but that could score well on the 11th column with a parallel play. Maybe someone with an S could score well on the 14th column, making BYS, maybe someone with XO. But on this board, it's mostly sort of bingo or bust, and neither of them have bingos right now.
No.
Down from the T in asystole, maybe Geoff could hit a toe ear, perhaps, for an okay score. It's like opening the board a little further. But Geoff's certainly the more balanced rack.
Yeah, I think some of the TWL games earlier had quite restricted boards early on. By the end of the game, there were games where bonuses were played late in the game, but the first half of the game it was quite defensive, and this game isn't probably going to be like those because of so many opening lines.
But I don't know much data behind this, but I certainly feel playing Collins, it's much more often you get these open style boards, and it's less frequent.
Yeah, I've got 0 TWL experience, but yeah, I think that's definitely true.
The stereotype of TWL, you have that tight board. Lewis, a terrific suggestion for Geoff that is probably unlikely to be blocked. Reflower for a double for 56. I have to see if he play. Certainly going to be the best play there. Noah Slackhoff pointing out Twofer, which is for sure an improvement on Towier, down to that triple word in the middle bottom.
Yeah.
If anyone notices anything for Evans, please comment, because right now it looks like a struggle. Oh, I was going to say he's about to panic, but no, he's about to play pinch, which is definitely a Collins word. Only means punch, like the stomach. It's not a Collins word. My mistake. Great pickup for Evans. He has nitifies through the eye and rattling, perhaps something better.
3 eye bonus, nice.
Yes. Always good to get rid of 3 eyes and get 50 extra points for it.
Yeah.
Big play for Geoff. I mean, he Reflower would block nitifies. I don't know if there's another bonus out there, but 56 and block nitifies. Just pointing out infidels, which would also be blocked, but another bonus that would be a little better than nitifies. Those are the only. I'm not on Quackle, so I can't say that for certain. Geoff is setting up Twofer, which is a strong play, but not as strong as Reflower. And if he doesn't find, he's going to be punished for not finding Reflower.
Yeah.
If he goes for Twofer, which he does. So this is going to let Evans right back into the game with a quick bingo. Those are the moments, right, where not that he knows he's going to be blocking a bingo with the best play necessarily, but by missing out on that best play, sometimes it can.
The opposite is true. I've seen games on stream where a player will make a definite weaker move, and they get an amazingly lucky pickup and bonus from it. And if they played the stronger move, that what people would consider the right move, it actually wouldn't have led to a possibly a win, or that sort of situation. So
yeah, I think sometimes
you should always try and play the best move if you spot it, but sometimes if you either don't see the best move or decide against playing it for whatever reason, it can sometimes fall into your lap, depending on the pickup. So
yeah, it's sort of the drama of seeing the 2 racks at the same time here on the stream, right? Or sort of the forget the term for that, but we're omnipotent as viewers. We can see what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's right. But a lot of people tune into these streams as they get more and more popular, and it can sort of, when you, like you say, you get the luxury of watching both sides of the game. But when you're playing yourself, you can't do that, and you have to sort of forget about that when you go back to playing. So
yes. Picking up another bingo. He's picked up Cogitate. through the T and rattling.
Wow. All those floaters are rattling, getting taken away.
Yes.
It's still the R. There'll still be the R at the top, so maybe that one will get taken as well.
Yeah, and the other R at the bottom of the board.
Yeah. How many bonuses are that now? That's 1, 2, 3. Oh, not that many bonuses. It's just there's been lots of high turnover plays, hasn't there? Painch and Tufa and Bergamot. This game's going to only have about 20 moves in it, I think.
There'll be might have a long waiting period in between, depending on what happens. I would say not an atypical game for Evan's Clinchy. Playing those playing these long words. Yeah, playing Painch, playing Bergama. I don't know how to say that. And then hitting his bingos and finding a lot of those high equity top plays like Yodel, Infidels picks very quickly.
Yeah.
Uoi, do you know how to say that word?
I pronounce it Uoi.
Yes.
It's actually a variant spelling of EVOE in Collins, so I think I'm right in saying that. But I don't think it's pronounced Evo like that would be pronounced Evo.
One of the best. One of my favorite words coming out, switching to Collins from TWL or mostly playing Collins to dump some vowels. It's going to come in pretty useful for him here. Maybe down next to buns, and that is exactly what Geoff's going to do.
Yeah. Not much else really.
Another suggestion of ood through the H and Painch. And Geoff looks like he's actually he's putting it down for a second time. So likely doing it this time. Ood would have been interesting. I mean, scoring more. And yep, there's Cogitate. No, cogitated on it enough over on Geoff's turn. So coming down instantly. And Evans should take the lead with that. With a decent pickup for scoring some points, but
there's Cogitate.
No. Oh, he has overhand, and I think it's handover. I believe handover is good, which is going to score a lot. So not just a scoring, but a bingo.
Look at this, amazing.
Just back and forth, striking
like a tennis match.
Yes, exactly. This could be it's like we're watching the Australian Open here.
Yeah.
And, Geoff's going to take the lead right back by 58 points ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's probably excited to get the Q and the Z and take the lead, but now he's seen a handover come down for, gosh, how much was that? For 101 points. 101 points.
101 over 90. Wow.
And Geoff's got the second blank in tow with his pickup. So sort of swung back to Geoff's favor.
It's like a lot of sports or games where it looks great to watch. When you see bonus after bonus, but sort of tactically and strategically, there's not a lot to think about and commentate on, is there? It's just instant play after instant play. So
yeah, definitely, it's one of those games where those last few plays, certainly handover, Cogitate, Infidels, easily the best play as far as I know, unless there were some marvelous moves that we didn't know about,
possibly, but
available.
Yeah, I think
so. Not on handover, no. Maybe on Infidels, but yeah, it's definitely true that it's sort of that balance of plays between you have probably the half of plays or third of plays you have to really think about in an average game, and then you've got the other half you're just slapping down.
Yeah.
Not much to talk about from a commentary perspective.
No. Are there any bonus lanes left? I suppose there's the left-hand side under the eye of infidels, isn't there? Or through the sea eye, maybe, if they want to play a 9.
Not much. That's very true. And there's, with the Evans is maybe thinking with the blank out, he can do something exciting with a 9, or maybe somehow hitting column. I guess is that column N there, parallel to picks, but he's not going to be able to use that. Of course, Evans isn't going to be able to use that blank for an S, since we know it's on Geoff's rack.
Yeah.
He is going to develop the board a little bit with Izar. Maybe he's hoping to pick Requiter or something like that, or at least at a new lane for himself and score well, of course.
As we go from this sort of mid-game phase to the pre-end game phase, is there going to be anything that Evans looks for in Geoff's in the actual plays he makes and in his body language to sort of ascertain whether he's got the blank, or will he? Well, we'll see, won't we? I suppose, but
I mean, he should. It'd be nice, right? Yeah, you always want to pay attention to that type of body language, because there's some opponents that will give things away. I mean, I don't expect. It's always good to pay attention. I wouldn't expect Geoff to reveal too much, but things like, is he taking a lot of time shuffling around?
That's a giveaway with a lot of weaker players, isn't it? When they just fiddle with their rack for a couple of minutes, don't play a move, and then you unless it was a bluff, then they're holding a blank most likely.
Yeah, exactly. On the flip side, I've had games where maybe the opponent is afraid from what's potentially out there, that my opponent then might need to block a big play of my opponent's, but they're so clearly frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
It's not it's true emotion that it allows, that I'm more likely to just play off, assuming they don't have something available. But yeah, it's a good point. It's just, any little bit helps when you're trying to come back from a bit of a deficit.
I was watching a YouTube video of a game last year between Joel Sherman and Nigel Richards at would it have been the National Championships in the last round, where he won it with a 3-tile play, emptying the bag, and played strings to go out and beat Nigel on the last move and win the tournament. And the commentators picked up on how he plonked his tiles down ever so slightly harder than on a previous move, and that might have suggested that he hadn't drawn the blank on the go before he did pick the blank. And you wonder whether Nigel would have picked up on that, if it was ascertainable at all. The commentators did see, or one of the commentators did say they saw that.
Yeah, it was interesting, and he certainly played like some. If one did pick up on that, you might want to play the way he played, which I think he left one tile in the bag, and he sort of went for the turnover, and was unfortunate to leave. If I'm getting the order of the turns right in my memory, unfortunate to leave the blank in the bag for Joel, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion after the game about Nigel's move of echoey, I think was the move that cost him the game.
Yeah, as it was. And I haven't looked back at it, but it was certainly a surprising play. Geoff's going to go for score, try to stay sort of a tempo or two ahead here with Wee. Going to use one of the better scoring spots on the board with 2 A's left in the bag. He could have.
Do you think that
hit that really?
What we were talking about? Do you think that suggests that he's got the blank to Evans, or he wouldn't really be thinking like that? Taking a long time on a move and then just playing 2 tiles.
I mean, there's other racks. I don't think it necessarily does. It's possible. No. But there's other racks that there are some racks where you'd play WE there quickly. So you can rule out certain racks that maybe a rack with 3 E's that is a clear play, but and he doesn't have an A, because AWE would have almost certainly come down.
Sure, yeah.
Unless he has a lot of consonants. But Evan's likely going to want to get rid of his Q. probably this turn. If not now, he wants to do it soon, or he could try to somehow hit a big play with those 2 U's unseen to him that both are on Geoff's rack. In fact, seeing that play of we makes it seem like Geoff doesn't have U's, but Evans does play the Q in a safer spot next to Painch, where top right would have been pretty risky, at least more volatile.
Yeah.
Evans does pick a bingo. He's picked vertitor down to the R, which I believe is a word. Verdite, I know is a word, or diverter, certainly.
Okay.
So Evans is going to have an opportunity to bingo if Geoff lets him. And the score is close enough that Geoff is not likely to sacrifice a ton of points to block that. And there might not even be a good way to block that lane.
No.
I mean, he could. Probably might want to play something like Kutu, for example. I mean, let's say he played Kutu in the bottom left, making kin. Well, he's setting up a kin. I was going to say he's setting up skin for himself, but the problem is that I don't want to open that up. Something like, I mean, there's not really, there's only a couple places to bingo. Really, that R is the best place to bingo from his perspective. Evans could certainly have Idolater. Or can you, Idolater with the ER. Yes, you can spell it like that. Or something else. So he could play MU, setting up himself, I believe, with that Umu hook.
He's got plenty of time, hasn't he? So
and he's going to do it. A terrific play, at least from the perspective of what's on the board, and or what we know there's an Evans's rack is going to be a bit of a killer play.
Yeah, when they talk about the game afterwards, they'll talk about that move.
Yeah, and Evans is it's a strong play. It's perhaps sort of that maybe that hit he took with every flower movie sort of made back up for it a little bit.
Forgot
not
about
that you always want to make the best play, but sort of coming in with that very strategic play, noticing that there's no S, there's no P, there's no more U's. He can make that play. He can have that lane for himself.
Yeah.
Evans is going to struggle Evans is blocked off the left side of the board for himself. Yeah, I don't know what Evans is. It's going to be tough. Even if the blank were in the bag, well, he knows Geoff has the blank now.
Yeah, that signals Geoff, it, doesn't it? You wouldn't take a chance like that in your Geoff's position.
Evans is in pretty dire straits because even if he, he's got to be thinking, well, I'm probably going to need a bingo to win. At the same time, I can't. Geoff might have a bingo himself, or at least a high-scoring play. On the triple word column, can block my bingo depending on what lines are available. And what even is there? Like, there's the Y. There's not much. And who knows what? I don't know what goes through that Y. If there's anything reasonable to fish for. Suggestion of Arctiad from the chat, playing through 3 disconnected letters and developing the leftmost column.
Interesting. Hard to spot though through 3 disconnected ones.
It's nice. And so,
what's the score for that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 24.
So that would be interesting. I mean, it'd be nice to
keeping
have
what REEV. Sorry, EEV.
EEV. So you'd want to find some sort of other bingo that you could possibly draw into on a different part of the board.
Yeah.
Evans has played it. Surprised. I mean, I shouldn't say surprised, but he hasn't do with this extra 8 minutes here. Maybe he wants to. Maybe he wants to put the pressure on Geoff, and he has. Oh my gosh, he has drawn Daytailor.
Wow.
Through the Y in Sicily.
No way.
Wow. So that is quite the play. And
what on earth was the probability of that?
Yeah. So maybe he noticed that possibility.
Yeah. He knew it was a non-zero probability anyway, and picked it.
Some like, I didn't see much through, but to know you just noticed
you mentioned
the Y
you mentioned it as a lane, but we hadn't looked to see what there was there. But that's amazing.
So does buy take? I don't think it takes anything but an S. So Geoff position here. 2 tiles left in the bag. Not really that much anymore, 16, but of course he controls the O column. He is probably going to look for what bingos are out there. If he sees Daytailor, which might be the only one available, probably would behoove him to block it somehow. Even something like KISS scores pretty well. KISS using the blank.
Yeah.
And that's go up by 56 points, and if there's no bingo out there, you're going to win on this board.
Yeah.
And
I noticed Evans was looking around the room then. I don't know. Try not to look at certain parts of the board. That's what some people do, isn't it? Don't look at the board when you try not to give anything away.
Yeah, he's looking. He's bored. He knows he has one chance. He's hoping. Yeah.
It could just be me, but I think he looks a lot more fidgety now than he did earlier in the game. So maybe it's just me.
Lewis has pointed out real tone through the N. I sort of missed the N. Pretty obvious spot there. Should have been an obvious spot for a bingo, and just going to want to block that.
Gosh, yeah, I completely missed that line as well.
Yeah. I didn't even know. I didn't notice it either. Just
all the other bonuses through rattling, and we missed that one.
Yeah. And Geoff is not going to play it. He's at least laying down cooties, and if the timer switches,
that's it.
Evans is going to
wow.
Oh, yep, there it comes down immediately. Drawing some letters that are about to be placed directly on the board as he grimaces a little bit.
Wow.
Seeing what he's left open. Evans sort of looks, like the relieved, sort of had a reprieve from this. Immediate find, of course, or he had it. He knew he had it, and so Geoff is no longer among the 3 unbeaten players here on day 1 of the Crescent City Cup.
Yeah, that'll put Evans in a very strong position because he was top of the spread, the people on 3 and 1 by spread. So winning this game by the margin that he has done will keep him right up there.
Evans definitely.
He's got a good chance of being on stream again, hasn't he? I would say in either round 7 or round 8.
Yeah, for sure. And he's with that strong spread, which he always has. I don't know. The stream's being selected, but he's going to be near the top of the standings. So
yeah. I'm assuming they just put whichever game is on table 1 from the pairings. That is the one that's streamed. They don't go to the players and say, "Do you want to play on stream?" I don't know if there is a rule in the entry form that says you will be on stream if you're on table 1.
Certainly, most that before, right? Some players don't like to be on stream,
No,
but
no, I know some, yeah, in the UK.
yeah, but so deconstructing things, of course. I think Evil Budgie in the chat, I think that's Craig Beavers, suggesting maybe playing Vane to open up that left side of the board, which is definitely interesting. Though not sure what it would have to look at what it would draw into, but yeah, I guess some like D ration maybe to the N.
Yeah.
Or, if there's something through the Y that he could have drawn into, as well as bingos through the V that he was opening. But yeah, they're pointing out the N, probably pointing out real tone.
Yeah.
We're going to be coming back in round 6 with Peter Armstrong, just like Evans, another former Collins North American champion. And he's going to be playing Geoff. Forgot we mentioned that a little earlier. We're going to take a little break before this next round. Finish pretty quick, so might be a few minutes. And I'll come back to you soon for Game 6.